Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are jumping into a philosophy that absolutely transforms the factory floor. It's called Total Productive Maintenance, or TPM. And let me tell you, this isn't just about fixing machines when they break. This is about building a culture of excellence that stops problems before they even start. So, just for a second, picture a modern factory. You know the scene? It's this complex, high-pressure world of humming machinery, blinking lights, and constant motion. The number one goal is to keep production running, nonstop. But there's always that threat lurking, right? The threat of an unexpected breakdown that can bring the entire operation to a screeching halt. And all that pressure, it creates this classic, and I mean really costly, conflict. The production team says, hey, maintenance isn't keeping the machines running. And at the same time, the maintenance team is tearing their hair out saying, well, the production guys are using the equipment all wrong. It becomes this endless cycle of finger-pointing, and honestly, nothing gets done efficiently. And this conflict isn't just about arguments. It has a real, measurable price tag. I mean, look at this data. Downtime isn't some stable, predictable issue. It is all over the map. One month you lose 4% of your time, but the next it shoots up to 16%. How can you possibly plan, hit your targets, or stay profitable with that level of chaos? You just can't. Okay, so here's our game plan for figuring out how to solve this constant battle. We're going to introduce TPM and its 8 pillars, and then we're going to do a deep dive on the first 3, which are, without a doubt, the foundation for all of this. So how do we finally break this cycle of blame and chaos? Well, the answer isn't just another checklist or procedure. It's a completely new philosophy, a whole new way of thinking. And this is it, Total Productive Maintenance, or TPM. At its core, it's a strategy that's all about getting literally everyone, from the person running the machine on the floor to the CEO in the corner office, to pull in the exact same direction, all with one shared goal: making the equipment as effective as it can possibly be. And this right here is the absolute key. You've got to understand this. TPM is not a program you just roll out. It's not a manual you hand to people. It is a fundamental shift in the company's culture. It moves you from being reactive and divided to being proactive and totally collaborative. So, how do you build a culture like that? It's not just wishful thinking. It's supported by a really clear and powerful framework, the 8 pillars of TPM. And here they are. You've got everything from autonomous maintenance and planned maintenance all the way to safety and even TPM in the administrative offices. When you put them all together, these 8 pillars create a complete system for crushing waste, preventing breakdowns, and hitting that world-class performance level. But you can't just tackle all 8 at once. That's not how it works. It's like building a house, right? You don't start with the roof. You've got to build a solid foundation first. And in TPM, these first 3 pillars, autonomous, planned, and quality maintenance, they are that foundation. So let's break them down. Let's start with what might be the most game-changing idea in the whole TPM philosophy: autonomous maintenance. This is all about empowering the people who know the machines inside and out, the operators themselves. This slide just lays it out perfectly. The old way, the operator just shows up and pushes a button. If something goes wrong, they pick up the phone and call maintenance. But in the TPM world, oh, it's a completely different ballgame. The operators own their machines. They are the first line of defense. It's no longer someone else's job, it's everyone's job. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. It's a really smart, step-by-step process. It starts with something as simple as cleaning and inspecting the machine. Why? Because when an operator cleans their machine, they start to notice little things: a small leak, a loose bolt, before they become massive problems. Over time, they get trained to handle lubrication, do basic checks, and eventually they help write the standards to keep their machine in perfect shape. So, if the operators are stepping up and taking on this new ownership role, what happens to the maintenance team? Well, their job gets a massive upgrade. They get to stop constantly putting out fires, and they get to start being strategists. And this is where things get really exciting, especially if you're looking at the bottom line. In the old, reactive way, maintenance is just a cost center. You're just spending money on repairs and lost time. But the TPM way, it flips the script. Proactive, planned maintenance actually becomes a profit driver because you're preventing those expensive failures from ever happening in the first place. The goal shifts from fix it fast to make sure it never breaks. And how do they pull this off? It's all about getting really smart with data. No more guesswork. The team is digging into breakdown data, they're looking for patterns, they're creating targeted maintenance schedules, and they're even using data to predict when a part might fail in the future. It's all about data-driven decisions. And a critical tool they use for this is a metric called MTBF, or mean time between failures. Now, it might sound technical, but the idea is actually super simple. It's just the average amount of time a machine runs perfectly between one breakdown and the next. And the maintenance team's job becomes crystal clear. Do whatever it takes to make that number go up. Okay, so we've got empowered operators and a strategic maintenance team. The third piece of our foundation, quality maintenance, connects all this amazing work directly to the customer by focusing on the final product. Think about the old way of doing quality control. You make a ton of products, and then someone at the end of the line inspects them and throws out the bad ones. Quality maintenance says that's insane. Why not just set up the process so perfectly that producing a defect is almost impossible in the first place? Quality isn't inspected in, it's built in. This means getting really deep into the details, understanding the exact link between a machine's condition and the quality of the product. Teams work to eliminate tiny variations, standardize perfect settings, and even implement these clever little mistake-proofing devices, a concept from Japan called poka-yoke, that make it physically impossible to make an error. The ultimate goal? Zero defects, period. So let's just bring it all together for a second. These first three pillars, they create such a powerful foundation. You've got operators who truly own their equipment, a maintenance team that prevents failures before they happen, and a process that is literally designed for perfect quality. It really makes you stop and think, how would a culture of total ownership and zero breakdowns truly change your workplace?